As the first person to go for the practice, I was very unprepared and had no idea what I was doing. After studying the case and realizing what it was I was supposed to be doing, I just dove in and tried my best. I, as well as the assistant going around listening, agreed that my biggest weakness was actually that I was ignoring the commitment signals that I was receiving. I didn't even try to close the sale in the meeting, as I just assumed I would have to schedule another meeting next week. The term trial commitment comes to mind because I had actually been doing this without thinking it. Trial commitments are a series of questions that you ask that determine the attitude of the buyer as to whether or not they are ready to close. If I had been using them correctly, I would have assessed the positive feedback I was receiving from my partner and could have possibly gotten them to agree to a sale right then. He was very motivated to buy, and I missed out on that. Instead, I skipped right to a trial close and only received commitment for another meeting. My second weakness comes from the random order of types of questions that I was asking him. Like I said, I was definitely unprepared, but I could have used the ADAPT questioning system to keep me organized. ADAPT stands for Assessment, Discovery, Activation, Projection, and Transition. ADAPT questions are asked in a funnel sequence in order to help the buyer recognize their needs, and then realize that their needs could be satisfied with the benefits of our product. I was asking activation questions before I had even asked discovery ones, and that threw off the need recognition process. Had I followed ADAPT, there would have been much more structure and a much better flow to the conversation and process. My greatest strength would be my rebuttals to the sales objections my partner would bring up. At first, I thanked my personality because I am normally very good at listening and reading between the lines in a conversation, but I didn't realize I was actually following the LARC process. LARC stands for Listen, Acknowledge, Assess, Respond, and Confirm, and is used to really understand what a buyer is saying the problem is when he or she has an objection. I was able to take the buyer's stated resistance that our price may be too expensive for them to afford at the moment for the company. We had an honest and open dialogue about the fact that, in the long run, tool replacement costs could be cut significantly. He ended up understanding and agreeing then that the price really isn't too bad. My final strength is that I was consistently recognizing and pointing out problems and solutions for my buyer as we spoke. The term that illustrates this strength is a continuous yes close. This is a process of framing the questions I am asking in a way that the buyer gets used to saying yes as his answer. It felt like I was really getting somewhere with him because every close-ended question I was asking was ending in a yes, and it really made the buyer trust that OnTrack was the solution to his problem.